Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope all of you guys are doing well. So, we are going to be taking a closer look at the Scream Factory Collector's Edition Blu ray release of the Craft, which was released in 1996, and it's been quite some time since I've seen this. A lot of these I haven't seen in a while, and I'm holding off for October when I do my Halloween horror series, as I will be doing Halloween Horror 3 this year. It's crazy that I'm going on my third year doing this. I never really participated in like doing the 31 days of October. I watch a lot of other YouTubers do it, so it kind of inspired me to do so. So back in 2022, I decided to go ahead and start my first year of doing it. And I got to be honest with you guys, it was a success. And I brought it back again last year and going to be doing it again this year. So yeah, so a lot of the titles you do see in this closer look series, basically I'll be holding off for October. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I do have to say, I love the artwork on this slipcover. It looks absolutely amazing, and you can definitely tell when it comes to specific releases where they've definitely put an effort into it, and others not so much. So very, very nice there. The spine, and if we do have any glare, I do apologize. There's the backing, of course, the features, the credits, description of the film, and some images on the back. And then the spine on this side. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Blu-ray itself, which is always going to be the same as the slipcover, so nothing too special there. And this movie is available on 4K, but I've heard the 4K has had issues with its transfer, and that the best release to at least go with is the Blu-ray. That issue could have been fixed. I don't know, but I am completely fine with just having the Blu-ray. It is a single disc release, so some of these titles which start to just be single disc releases, which is understandable. And it's the same artwork as the cover and the slipcover. And then, of course, we do get the original artwork, which is actually the same artwork they used on the DVD release, which is just the classic of them, in the rain? Yeah, standing side by side. This is a really good movie. It's not one I hear people talk about. I still remember this movie fondly. There was, I think, around like the late 90s, I used to be into a lot of like sci-fi, horror, and titles like that. Um, like Idle Hands was like my go-to. Everybody loved Halloween. I was an Idle Hands guy. I cannot get enough of that movie. It became one of my all-time favorites. But like The Craft, um, Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, there's a lot that were like a lot of my, go-to films of the '90s, and others I would like. Scream, I was obsessed with that movie. I remember going to a friend's house and watching it way back in the day. His sister had it, and we would just watch it and really enjoyed it. I remember another friend of mine had it on one night, and yeah, just Scream became my like obsession. Um, and I would like choose that over a lot of other films. But yeah, for someone who was in like elementary school, middle school, like late '90s. It was definitely interesting, considering I probably shouldn't have been watching horror films, but I did. My love for movies started at a very, very early age, and most parents are kind of worried that when kids watch stuff like that, they'll repeat it. Not me. I was more into the magic of movies, like anytime the HBO specials would come on, where they would do like the behind the scenes stuff and interviews of movies, like I want to say it was like movies that were coming out in theater. I remember like watching a few of those because I was always fascinated on the making. Because what you guys don't know, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I was growing up, I originally wanted to be a special effects makeup artist. do the makeup with like the latex and, making people look completely different, and also working on special effects, creating, effects when somebody, like these action films, when somebody gets shot, making the effects of them, you know, having the gunshot wound and things like that. Just, all these cool, interesting things. So it was what I wanted to do, to be a special effects and special makeup artist. And I will say Tom Savini was a huge inspiration on that. But the more I got older and the more I was watching in the way of movies, I wanted to have more of an appreciation of filming the movie, coming up with scripts, and over the time, I would have other interests and things like that. And now here we are talking about movies on the channel, joining a community of others who have the same similar interests. So, yeah, my start for film really started early, but I don't want to get off too much off topic, so I'll talk about that in another video. But special features, there's not a whole lot, but for what we get, I think is decent. So we get interviews with director and co-writer Andrew Fleming, producer Douglas Wick, co-writer Peter Filardi, and makeup effects supervisor Tony Gardner. We get audio commentary with Andrew Fleming, Conjuring the Craft featurette, The Making of the Craft, deleted scenes with optional commentary and theatrical trailer. This film was released in 1996, and it's 101 minutes. So, yeah, not a bad release. I don't know why they don't put their release years on Blu-ray, but I know this one probably came out a few years back, and I know they just recently released a 4K titles. And here's the thing: here's the positive about 4Ks coming out from Screen Factory, especially the films they've already released on Blu-ray, like this one, RoboCop 2. For anybody who did not buy the Blu-rays, who missed out on the Blu-rays, then I recommend picking up the 4Ks. Boba Hotep, I think, got released on 4K. There's so many movies that came out on 4K that if you missed out on picking up just the standard Blu-ray, then I highly recommend picking up the 4Ks. Excuse me. It makes more sense. Rather than double dipping, you can at least get what you missed out on. But if you're someone who's not really caring for the 4Ks and prefer the Blu-rays, then you can definitely get these Blu-rays secondhand, especially off eBay, for a lot cheaper. Me, I'm doing a little bit of both. I'm picking up the ones I want on Blu-ray, and then I'm holding off and picking up the ones I want on 4K. To me, that makes more sense rather than kind of, selling off the Blu-rays and upgrading to the 4Ks. I'm only doing that with the last two movies I need, which are People Under the Stairs and Hackers. I did it with The Blob, but after that, I'm strictly going to be going for the titles I want on Blu-ray and the titles I want on 4K. Unless it's David Cronenberg's The Fly remake, if that ever gets a 4K from Screen Factory, which I do think it's going to happen, that will be a must-buy for me, because that is one of my all-time favorite horror films. It's one of my all-time favorite, actor collaborations, because I am a big fan of Gina Davis as well, and I also own Earth Girls Are Easy, which they both starred in. I want to say it came out like a couple years after they did The Fly. But yeah, that's a must-have for me, and I don't know why we're still sitting here with no 4K for The Fly. But nonetheless, that is a closer look at The Craft. If you've seen the movie, let me know what your thoughts are. And if you enjoyed this closer look, then give it a thumbs up. It's much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. I do collection updates, unboxings, movie reviews, and of course this series as we take a closer look at my Screen Factory release. And this series might also spark the interest of those who may not have these films in their collection, or never really got to see a video of what the release looks like. And I want to do that. I want to give, you, the viewers, a closer look at these releases, because they are indeed nice. And people like to have something like that before they decide they want to make a purchase. Is it worth it? Some people, to some, it might be. To others, it might not. Some might just want the movie. Some might pass because the special features are lacking. You never really know. And I figured this would be a great way to do so. So, yeah, so I wish I could say more on that. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to, again, do those normal things like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my eBay store. The link will be down in the description below. And with that being said, I'm Film Talk with Mikey. And until next time, guys, we'll talk films. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.